In the last video, we created a beat using completely free plugins and samples. This time we are going to tackle turning that loop into an arrangement or song structure. First, separate out your patterns either by having them as separate MIDI files or audio files, as I mentioned in my last video. It's important you keep each pattern on a separate track. Start with your guitar or counter melody and place down 2 copies to act as an intro. Place a further 2 copies while also adding hi-hats and claps to help build towards an opening chorus. Finally, add in all the other elements excluding the other melody. Now we're at the first verse. Take the other melody and place it down twice. Then add just the kick, snare and clap layers. For the second half, repeat as above but reintroduce the other melody so both are playing. For the chorus, we can just paste it in from earlier. When doing these sorts of structures, you want to work in multiples of 2 or 4. You can work in others, but this keeps everything nice and even, making it easy to keep track of. I always find writing a second verse difficult, but you can go about it in 2 ways. Either copy the first verse or play around using the patterns and come up with something different. In this case, I chose to use the 808 instead of one of the melody lines, but this is completely up to you. For the final part of the song, I decided to have a double chorus followed by an outro. I copied across the chorus like last time, then I had all the layers playing for 2 repetitions before dropping out the kick, snare and claps. I then simply had the hi-hat finish a bar early to let the song end with both the melodies playing. FL Studio will start to loop the song if you don't drag out the last pattern so there isn't any information in it. This is good if you don't want your song to just dead stop. Finally, we need to add some transitions. These are basically little rises to help your listener know when a chorus is coming or we are entering another part of the song. Reverse cymbal hits work really well for this, and FL Studio has a bunch of samples included. Click on this button here to load up the sample browser. Find packs from the list, then drums. Then head to cymbals and drag one into your project. Go to the step sequencer and click unsorted to find your sample. Then load up the preview window and select reverse. Now it's just a matter of trying a bunch of them out and moving them so the loudest part of the clip is just before the start of a chorus or verse. I assigned all of mine to one track, cut the lows on the channel EQ, and then added delay with the settings shown to make this sound more dramatic and flow into the next part of the song. Another way of adding variation is to have the drums drop out on the last beat of the bar every now and then. By creating this space, it perks up the listener's ear, given most of the song is using the same repeating motifs. You could do the opposite and have all the drums come in on the second beat of a bar. Again, anything you can do to get the listener's attention will help the song stand out. Finally, when you are happy with all of the arrangement, select all and one by one, solo each track and export it as a separate audio file. This is called a stem. Now we will create a rough mix so we can export an instrumental to write to. Start by loading up the mixer and pull all the faders down. Then find a place in the song where all your layers are playing and select them using the select tool shown here. Now start with the main melody and balance the level so everything sits well together. Here is my example. Once you are happy with it, select it and export it as a WAV file. This is what we will use in the next step to write lyrics to. Anyway, that wraps up the second part of this series. Next time I will tackle how to write lyrics effectively and how to go about recording them. Cheers, bye.